If you've ever looked at this verse and then looked at your life and it's like, hey, the journey is far. I must be failing. I have a few things to tell you. Hi, welcome to Wumizuru. I am Wumizuru, and here we're trading common misconceptions of Christ mindsets, and in doing so, we'll become more like Christ. So if that's your vibe, like and subscribe. There's room bloom. Before we talk about what you can be, in the meantime, it is important that you know this. This journey to perfection that we're talking about is gonna happen. Finally, scripture is clear about that on the final day. That is, while you are here on this earth, there would always be something that God is working on in you. And I know in the past we categorize big sins and it looks like, oh, if I'm not doing these big ones, I'm fine. But you see, when you now begin to show commitment to this goal, you begin to see that there are things that you consider small, normal, that he's like, not like me. Oh. If he's not like me, he must go too. And as C.S. Lewis says, which I am paraphrasing, his goal while you're on this earth is to get you as far as you can go. So while the final goal is perfection, the day he will come, while you're on this earth, God is looking at how close can you get to this perfection. So you see, he might be here. He might look at it, you're here today. There's no reason why you should not keep coming forward each day. Some other person might be here. This goes to perfection. He's not going to look at it and say, you're close enough. Let's stop here. As close as you can get to perfection is how far he is willing to get it. That is his commitment. So now let's talk about your commitment. What can you do? What should you do? You're not yet perfect. Okay, but what can you be? The first one is that you must learn to be honest with yourself. Let's assume you've done something. Everyone is looking at it as this thing you have is bad. But when you're outside, you are willing to die on that hill that this thing, I should have done it. I should have said my mind like that. Yes, I should have acted in the way I did. Fine. That one still has its own problems, but let's assume that when you're outside, that's how it is. You have to learn to be someone, to become someone that when you step back inside and you are on your own, you can review situations and be honest with yourself. So now come to that point, you're like, this was unkind. This thing is wickedness. I was rather disrespectful, and there can never be any excuse for disrespect or dishonor. You have to look at it and say, hey, this thing is jealousy. It's jealousy that made me act out like this. Even if other people are seeing the outward manifestation, you will be able to look at the situation and say, "Yes, I was acting out like this because I was envious. I spoke like this because I was jealous." You must never look at anything and think abominable. I couldn't have been that. It's a lie. There must be some other reason why I acted like this. No, no, no. If I was acting like this, passive aggressive, petty, whatever, and it's because of envy, when I'm on my own, I should be able to say, as abominable as it sounds, I was envious. Because you see, without being honest with yourself, what you are asking for now is divine intervention from heaven. That the roof will open up, the angel will land in your room and say, girl, stop being a bad friend. And if it's not necessary, it's not necessary. Nobody is ever saying that you go outside and say, I'm so sorry, I was acting like this. That's a different conversation. Nobody is saying that you have to go and now explain to people that it's because I was jealous or it's because I was upset. No, 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 no. You may not have to, but you see, when you're with yourself, you must be able to call out what it is. Let it be that if you judge anything wrongly, if you come to a conclusion and still feel like, yes, I was right, let it be that it's because you actually don't know. Not that you know, but you've managed to convince and deceive yourself. You must get to that point where you can be honest with yourself and call things out that this is why I am acting like this. The second thing that you must learn is to take steps back. You understand the impulse actions. You're upset and you blot out certain words. Oh, everybody here is so stupid. I don't know. That's an example. And it looks like everyone is hammering on what you might consider the minor. You have to become someone that, in moments of impulse, you can analyze. Like, you're no longer waiting till you get back. You can analyze and say, oh my God, I called everyone stupid, but that's because I'm upset. I was rude to this person, but that's because I'm upset. If I were in my right mind, where I'm concerned about the mind of Christ, I won't do this. And in that moment, take a step back. You may not be able to physically retrieve your words, collect your words back, but take a step back, take it back, Sha. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's not what I meant. Whatever you can do in that moment. If it's action, you're upset with your roommate, so you refuse to make her up for exam. You've already gone halfway. If you remember in that moment, yes, it might require you turning around, like taking a step back, waking her up. Like in that moment, you analyze it and say, this is pettiness, this is passive aggressiveness, this is very unchristlike. Turn around. Make as soon as you realize it, take a stop. Don't let it be that your ego is keeping you from taking steps back. Like, yes, and so what? You people are very stupid. I said it. No, because if you were not stupid, if in that moment you recognize and you realize that, and most of the time we do. It's almost like the veil leaves our eyes. Don't start to defend something that is wrong if you've already recognized that it is wrong. It's a waste of time. The third one is that you must learn to apologize. I know we live in a world where we say things like, apologies don't really mean anything because the action has already happened. Don't take back. I think we should leave some sentiments for people that are already perfect. You, that you're not, you must be able to apologize. And you must be willing to accept people's apologies. Real sincere apologies reduce your chances of acting out because it takes a lot of humility, it takes a lot of bowing head in that moment. And it will unconsciously or consciously make you start thinking about your actions before you act out again. What happens with each apology is that your pre-analysis game gets better. The first one, being honest with yourself, is post-analysis. You coming back to your room and you're like, the second one is like on the spot analysis, you realizing that she shouldn't have said that. With apologies, you're breathing as if you will not know that if I say this thing, by the time I say it, is it that I realize on the spot I shouldn't have said it? Or when I get back, I will realize I shouldn't have said it. And I will now be convinced that I ought to apologize. So let me just avoid this situation. That it was the point. Like by the time we are done, I will get to a point where I have to apologize because you know what it takes to bow head to give a sincere apology. So yes, you know what sincere apologies sound like. If you don't know, let me know. And the fourth one is that you must learn to be honest with God. This is like being honest with yourself, but now we're taking it a step higher. You are now telling somebody that can actually help you. Being honest with yourself should get you to that point where you can now be honest with God. That's the importance of being honest with yourself. It's you taking steps forward while God is pulling you towards the perfection. It's just saying, Lord, hey Lord, you wicked thought I thought. Lord, you see how unkind I was. I don't know. Why do I always snap? Why do I always act out like this? Like you're telling him over and over and over again. Because with many of our actions, you snap at people, you passive aggressive, petty, if you now decide that, okay, let me be honest with myself and work on myself, you only change what's outside. They are the inner parts that are driving those outward actions. And that's the one that he needs to help you with. Because while you may be able to change how you react to the situations, you won't change how you feel on the inside, the jealousy that is on the inside, the bitterness that is on the inside. And he's also concerned about those ones. So that is why you must be honest with him. Honesty is high level commitment. It's you taking steps forward while he's also pulling you towards the perfection. If you ask him for help, he will most definitely help you. So I hope your mind has been renewed, that you are now rejecting normalcy, you're raising your standard. That there's more of Christ in your mind and it will begin to reflect in your character. Cheers to becoming all that God will have you be. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There's room